Welcome back to day 31 of Pause, 40 Words for the 40 Days of Lent. I am Reverend Linda Snyder, pastor of Middle Church in Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania, and today's word is temptation. Our scripture comes from the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verses 14 to 16. Since we have a great high priest who has entered heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to what we believe. We have a high priest who is able to understand our weaknesses. He has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. So let us come boldly to the throne of our gracious God, and there we will receive his mercy, and we will find grace to help us when we need it most. If you haven't already paused in silence before the Lord, pause this video and do so now. You've made it 3/4 of the way through these 40 days of Lent. We're on day 31, and so I want to share with you a story. The loud rat-a-tat-tat pounding the woodpecker makes as he drills into trees in search of bugs to eat reminds me of the persistent pounding of daily temptation. The secret of the woodpecker's success is simple. When he finds a suitable tree, he begins to drill a hole. And if the wood is too hard or no bugs are found, he simply moves over a bit and starts again. Over and over the woodpecker continues until he meets with success. Satan tempts in much the same way. He tries one temptation on us, and then if he's not successful, he will move over a bit and try another. And so he continues over and over and over until he finds a weak spot in us. Now, those bugs have no protection from the persistent woodpecker, but we have protection from the persistent pecking of Satan. Jesus, as the perfect high priest, intercedes for us at the throne of our gracious God. Jesus is the perfect intercessor. Not only does he understand our struggle, but he perfectly defeated every temptation. And Jesus was tempted in every way with an intensity we cannot comprehend. See, if you're not tempted, it's because you're used to sinning. It is the one who has fully resisted all temptation who has the greatest experience of wrestling against it. Lent reminds us that temptation itself is not a sin. And Lent also reminds us that each time we resist a temptation, we build spiritual muscles. Jesus didn't say no to Satan because he was wearing his God hat. Jesus was able to say no to Satan because he was continually strengthened by the power his Father gave him through prayer. Like Jesus in the desert, we need to take our temptations boldly to our Father in heaven, to the one who alone can help us to overcome them. Jesus taught us to pray, "Lord, deliver us from evil." And he did on the cross. And he continues to deliver us, sitting at the right hand of God, our gracious Father. It's supposed to be a joke, but I think that this is the perfect answer and thought to have when we are tempted by Satan. A little girl once said in response to a question about how to deal with temptation, "Well, when Satan comes knocking at the door of my heart, I send Jesus to answer the door. And when Satan sees Jesus, he says, 'Oops, I'm sorry. I must have the wrong house.'" Today's daily practice, I want you to take some time to be alone with God. to bring to Him those temptations with which you are presently struggling, and then receive the grace that God offers you to resist Satan's persistent pecking. We have a high priest who is able to understand our weaknesses. He has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. So let us come boldly to the throne of our gracious God, and there we will receive his mercy, and we will find grace to help us when we need it most.